Around the world, today's forward-thinking hospitality, tourism, and leisure businesses are having a sustainability vision that, in many cases, is exemplary. But vision also needs action. Welcome to this BVTV Trilogy, coming to you from the UK Studios of BizVision. I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher. Now, without a doubt, the desire to achieve reduce carbon emissions, achieve net zero, be a conscious business is to the forefront in the minds of many general managers in the hospitality sector. And he or she knows that their young staff and many of their customers feel the same way. But it's all a very big picture. So where to start? My guest is doing something about it with her Beyond Bamboo initiative. Let's find out by saying, welcome to Divya Vaghela. Hello, Divya.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, excellent. And I'm talking to you and you're in one of my favorite cities in the world, Toronto. Yeah, lovely and clean, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a great place to be. It's nice and big and there's just something for everyone.
Yeah, and I'm always busy watching that program, Property Brothers, which seems to come from Toronto. Yeah. Divya, first of all, tell us what Beyond Bamboo is and what it does. And then can you give us the present situation on waste generation in the hospitality? And why do hospitality people need to take the action you're urging now, especially as they're struggling to recover from the pandemic and economic woes?
Yeah, so Beyond Bamboo is a little mixed bag of really awesome services and products. So we are a consumer marketplace, we're a B2B consultancy service, and we're also a sourcing service. So our goal is kind of going beyond what is typically expected from environmental consulting agencies and working not only to kind of reduce impact to get people back to baseline, but to also go beyond and help rejuvenate the planet and, make it a better place for the future instead of just mitigating and kind of bringing everything to equilibrium now. Let's do better for the future. So right now, the hospitality industry is a great place to start. So as the pandemic is kind of coming towards a different phase in our lives, not necessarily an end, I wouldn't say, but it's causing the entire industry to have to change their operations, processes, and people are a lot more considerate about where they travel, how they travel, and even just how they consume. So the hospitality industry is currently at an operations impasse where the post-pandemic landscape, there's a lot more concerns about climate change and it's forcing businesses to make a change. So while it's hurt the industry a little bit while it was kind of happening, it's beginning to pick up again and people are being able to make more decisions with their dollars and people are choosing to spend green. So it's going to be a great way to kind of think forwardly and be prepared for the future to come. So we'll see waste generation in the hospitality industry from things like the products they use, the packaging, the food waste, just general emissions. And all of these are kind of being stacked on top of each other and kind of taking the first step to take stock of the emissions that your business might be using or the hospitality industry is using is definitely the first step. So we're kind of looking towards that and seeing where we can help in terms of not only choosing different products, but, taking the existing practices and just making them that little bit better to kind of move forward towards that rejuvenation mindset.
Yeah, I think also, a lot of drivers behind this are the clients or the guests themselves. I know in particular that lots of corporate businesses are wanting to know how green the hotel is that they're sending their people to stay in.
Yeah. And it's never going to be a one-stop shop unless we're decades down the line. So right now we're trying to make every business the best that they can be. And we're taking so we're not only just focusing on things like carbon credits, we're focusing on waste solutions and trying to really connect the community is a huge part of our goal as well. So if that means maybe taking the food waste in one area and donating it somewhere else, or if it's taking, the little plastic bottles that you get and you never use in your hotel room and finding a way to turn it into something new. Just because those products already exist. We don't want to just see them thrown in the recycling bin, even though that's better than the trash. We're still trying to kind of find ways to make the circular economy the focus.
I suppose as well, there's got to be education of the guests somewhere along the line. For a number of years, hotels have had messages in the hotel room, bedroom saying, please try to reuse the towels or whatever it may be. And guests are saying, well, that's just them trying to get away with cheaper laundry. But there is an implication, isn't there, to all that excess that the guest will sort of incur.
Yeah, so just making sure that we're putting we want to put the guest forward the same as the hospitality industry does. We don't want it to feel like you're losing out when you're going on vacation. You want to feel that little bit extra special, whether it's using a new towel every day or getting your fresh sheets and things like that. Everyone's looking forward to our entire industry is guest facing. So we really want to make sure that with the choices that we make and that the industry makes is that we're not losing out on the guest experience. So for example, one of the things we're going to talk about a little bit later, hopefully, is some of the easy swaps that hotels can make. So one of those is just using darker colored towels. Those are being able to be made from recyclable materials that may have already been previously dyed. They don't require a bleaching process, which adds extra chemicals. So you're still able to have that really great hotel experience of going in and getting that fresh towel and being super excited about those new products that maybe you don't have at home, without all of the extra chemicals and waste and just things that are bad for the environment.
Yeah, excellent. Now, I also think that it's quite interesting that smaller businesses say, oh, well, it's not for me. I can't afford it because I'm just struggling past the pandemic. But actually, if you apply some of the things that you're thinking, and as you say, we'll talk about many of them later on there, you can actually save money, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a big part of it is just extending the life process or life cycle of a lot of these products. So it's a lot of those things, for example, go back to the shampoo bottle. Those are just one thing. You use it once and then it's over. That's really costly for hotels, and the hospitality industry. They have to buy new ones for every single guest. It's a constant cycle of waste production and purchasing, and waste obviously comes with a lot of non-profitability, and you lose a lot, and that's never going to be the goal for any industry. So for example, one of the things that we like to think of is using refillable things in a fine sanitary way, and finding the dispensers that work the best for your hotel, and just doing things like that is a great way to just reduce plastic waste, maybe for traveling those individual bottles. It's cheaper to ship, it's probably better quality, and it's just saving money all around since you're not constantly producing that waste.
I think I just want to squeeze in our last minute in. There's one other area that we need to sort of encourage them to be better at, and that's the suppliers to hospitality. They still seem to be fixated with packaging.
Yeah, and that's understandable. Every business is going to have this thing where they want to present themselves in the best way possible. And if that means using, the fanciest packaging, 7 layers of heavy compressed paper on top of it, people want to do that. But one of the things that we're looking forward at Beyond Bamboo is we're choosing we're sourcing from suppliers that are making the design decision to obviously do something great, but in the best way possible. If that means having those heavy packaging still sometimes, that might mean that, but it means using recycled materials. It means shipping locally. So we're reducing the amount of miles that are being traveled by bus, train, plane, and just all over the place. So it's a great way to just kind of focus on the suppliers, and at least at Beyond Bamboo, we like to focus on the suppliers and just make sure that we vet them right, and we can have those quality products without losing the environment on the way.
Thanks, Divya. Now, let's give viewers and listeners details of your URL, your website address, which obviously viewers, you can see on the screen behind me. But for listeners, let me spell it out. It's all the W's dot beyondbamboo.online. So that's beyondbamboo.online. In episode 2, I want to ask Divya about 5 easy swaps to help you get started on your, what I call, a better business journey. So can we do that, Divya?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it.